The following is a special presentation of MRE UNO Division 2. You're watching the 2025 MRE UNO Division 2 Championship. Today, a bounce-back effort will begin for the top player in Division 2 after a rough one in his first loss since Tournament 2. Now he gets sent to the loser's bracket as he now needs to win 5 matches to win it all, and it starts with the last man in from the LCQ. It was a major upset while lopsided for Mihael as he fell to Pikachu in the July Final Four rematch. All he can do now is regroup and get back on the horse, as he now needs 5 more wins, 2 of which will be against the last perfect player in the field in the Grand Finals. He has 14 wins going into the championship, so he has the potential to rebound in a big way. However, it will not be an easy task. Evan has only had 1 match that wasn't lose and go home all postseason. 2 matches in the LCQ, 1 loss to Pikachu, who resides in the winner's final, and now 2 wins against strong players, Joao, who made a Final Four, and Saiyan, who made 2 of them. Now he gets the guy who dispatched Saiyan twice in the regular season. The house money continues to flow for Evan as he is locked in, looking to wreak havoc and send another top 4 player home as he looks to play another should he win. Will Mihael rebound big, or will Evan kick him while he's down? It's top floor versus the basement as seasons are on the line. Number 1 versus number 12. It's Mihael, it's Evan. Whose season ends today? Find out next.
Hello everyone and welcome to the losers quarterfinal round of the D2 championship here on MRE UNO. I'm your host G-Man, and we're about to have one of the more interesting matches that we can get in this championship. The top floor versus the bottom floor, the 1 seed Mihael versus the 12 seed Evan, going head to head to try and stay alive in these playoffs. One will come out of this and move on to losers semis, while the other will be out of it. We'll see who comes out on top in this one. I'm your host, G-Man. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at the bracket here, and now we have a full look of the final bracket again. A few days ago we had both our winner semis. It was Pikachu triumphing over Mihael, ending his 12-win streak on a bit of an unfortunate way, as Mihael definitely got hosed in on the table, unfortunately. But for Pikachu, gonna take what he could get, and he gets redemption after losing to Mihael in the July Final Four. He moves on to the finale of winners to take on Geo, who continues his upset run. Took out Mark in a very long series, longest series of the D2 championship thus far this season. In a 4-2, he moves on to winners finals. They will be playing right after this at 11:30. Right now, Mihael Evan is up, and then tomorrow at 4 p.m. we wrap up the losers quarters round with Mark and Red. Winner of that will face the winner of Mihael Evan, and that will lock in our loser semifinal round. And then we go from there. I mean, you kind of see it there. There's only 6 matches left to go in this D2 championship here. Potentially 7 if we get a reset. But more information on that later. Gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out here, as we are down to our final 6, but for what I know, it should be some exciting times here, as we are really getting down to the wire for this D2 season. We'll now jump into the stream, which is a black screen. Let me fix that. There we go. I am joined by the co-commentator Tapir. Welcome to the booth. Bit of early morning drives here. Ultimately, as we get things going for the top six of this bracket here, your thoughts on both these players, just kind of coming from different spots. Mihael was someone who was in the winners bracket, got a win in winners quarters, and then lost in the winners semis, as I mentioned before. And then we have on the flip side, Evan, who lost in the opening round of the D2 chip after making it through the LCQ, but nabbed 2 wins in the losers bracket in losers round 1, losers round 2, beat Cyan and Joao to get to this point. So riding a bit of momentum here. Kind of your thoughts on the kind of differences coming into this match for both of them, and your thoughts on how it could all play out, especially with it being a 1v12.
Yeah, even with a 1v12, you can have some massive swings, right? This series is going to be about survival, right? Because this is a losers round, and both are really, this is a cutthroat battle because both have lost one round. One more is going to be it for the season. So you're gonna see all the stops pulled. You're gonna see every last chance, last gasp effort to keep the season alive. So I think there's gonna be some fireworks to this one, despite it being a nice, quiet, chill morning. That's no excuse for some fiery play that I think we'll see here. Especially Mihail, right? Know him from UUL. He has all the skills that he needs to take the win and keep his season alive. I haven't seen much of Evan, but he's got that New York mindset, right? Get her done, and stop at nothing to get to the top. So he's going to be putting on a fight too. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. We're going to have a lot of strategies here, but of course, luck's going to play a little part as well. We're going to see who's going to get the best of both of those. Really excited to get it started. Thanks for having me here. So yeah, let's get it on.
Yep, of course, any time to peer. But let's go to our players first, starting with Mihail. Mihail, tough loss in winter semis a few days ago against Pikachu, but again, still in the bracket, still alive to go for the three-peat. Just kind of your thoughts on Evan heading into this one, and I guess your mindset moving forward in this tournament, especially after losing that 12-win streak you had, which included 2 tournament victories along the way. I know Mihail said he's not sure if he will VC or type. I think based off the fact he's muted, he's gonna type this one. I don't see anything right now. Oh, there we go. He's typing. Okay. Just kind of your mindset going into this one, especially after coming off a pretty tough loss on the table that broke your 12-win streak, which included 2 tournament wins, but just kind of thoughts going into this one, and the mentality you're gonna go with against Evan, especially since you're still in the hunt for the three-peat. Mihail gonna type this one. Mihail gonna type this one out. Again, all right. Mentality is the same as any other match. Win now. I know what Evan brings to the table, and this won't be an easy one. All right, so keep it pretty short and simple for Mihail. Go to Evan here. I mean, you've had a pretty good run through losers so far. Thoughts on making it to this point, and thoughts on going up against Mihail, who has definitely proven to be a threat over the course of this season. And Evan's gonna type that one, so we'll have both these players type it out here. But once we get Evan's response, we'll get things going here.
All right, I am back now.
All
Just
right,
reading Mihail's response there.
any thoughts on it?
Won't be an easy one, absolutely. Yes, it won't be an easy one, absolutely. Yeah, he's treating this match just like any other, right? Just do what he can to get the win. That's just that winner mindset that we always talk about.
Yep, indeed. You always just gotta go in with the mentality of winning. Can't go in with the mentality of backing down. And for Mihael, he is ready to get things going here. For Evan, I know that Mihael's an incredible player, so I'll just have to give him everything I got. All right, we'll see who comes out on this one. For Evan, he has taken down one of the double-digit wins this season, double-digit win players this season. Can he make it two? We're about to find out. Mihail's going to start things off for game number one since he is the top seed. Full board. We'll see what he goes with here, although he usually has a favorite to start on.
I have absolutely no idea what he's going to start off with. Do we have any thoughts in the chat?
Says he's going to switch it up.
Switch it up? No.
Nope.
Okay, I was going to say there's no way. There's no way. Classic Mihael right there.
Would have had to do a bit of a investigation to see if Mihael was impersonated on that one, but gonna go with his 7 as per usual.
For sure.
Underway with red 8, but Mihael quickly with the switch to yellow. Alright. Evan gonna keep it yellow there. Superior kind of just thoughts early on here, and we've seen a lot of quick matches in this championship, including these games, but just kind of any thoughts on what both these players got to do in terms of the pace to try and get the lead here?
Well, I think it's going to be on the faster side, but that's not to say that it's going to be sloppy, right? Because you have two players that have been around the block. They know what they need to do, and they understand that in a match like this, any one mistake is going to be crucial and fatal to your season. So we're not going to see very many playing mistakes. I don't think. I could be wrong, but just knowing these two players, knowing how they play, I think we're going to be in for a very efficient and strategy-based series here. Looks like we're in Draw City as we speak. He's sitting on the yellow 6 with nothing more to be said for now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been only able to get off one card on yellow, Mihael 2, and that was the immediate switch out off the start. Seems like the yellow is not really popping up here. Neither is the 6 as well, so for both, Draw City continues, and this has been a long one to start this game.
And both players now are already way back, well beyond the initial start of 7. Mihael finally finding a break on the yellow 3. Let's see if Evan's got anything here. He does. He's got to switch to blue.
Honestly, with that, well, we got a ditto there, but honestly, with that one, I was thinking the first top deck we got on the yellow there was going to be the switch. But yeah, we are going into blue here, and I think we're really running more of a 3-color game at this moment. Get a ×2 combo on the ditto here as we go from 3 to 4.
Sure.
Gonna break the combo there with the 0.
Right down to the basement. Up to the 5 now from Mihael.
Yeah,
Evan's turn to respond here.
Mihael trying to climb with that 3-4-5, and he actually runs out there, so no ones for Mihael to speak of, as Evan's going to switch to red, and that's actually going to be big for him to close that mini gap that was there towards the start after the Draw City. Red 8, red 2. I mean, Tapir, no ammo yet. I guess really the question is, what are both players saving here? Does it say that first ammo card of the game? But what could both players be saving here? And just kind of the idea of like both players being close and just kind of playing with a bit of nuclear tension here with the ammo here, just waiting for someone to go for it, as we see Evan going for some right now.
I feel like everything's on the table, right? And just as we speak, massive run there. We got, I believe, 4 plus double play from Evan, responded by Mihael with 4 5-bagger now into the troublesome yellow 6. I was going to say there, it felt like everything was on the table, and indeed it was. Switch to blue there, blue 6. Felt like everything was on the table. Only thing we didn't see is a wild. Very easily, one or both of these players could have that in the back pocket. If I see Mihail's drawing here, I figure if he has that +4, it's not going to be a finish because there's no way he draws there. So he might have just gotten a check and he's just waiting for a good card to pick up.
All right, well,
As we go into red now for the third time today.
ultimately for Evan, I think that blue ends up being a stall here. We'll see if that's enough, as he was the one who initialized the draw city and also ended it. So maybe a good sequence from him there. We'll have to see what Mihael does here. Goes back into yellow. But
You may have just decided that was enough, right? And that's what Draw City's about, just finding out who's gonna blink first, who wants to end the tour of Draw City right there.
Red wild from Evan. He's the first to strike on the wild here. Does Mihael have a response, or is he just gonna let it play out? Gonna let it play out. No play from Mihael on that one as he draws. Red
Nothing
9.
to speak of.
Ooh,
Evan with the red 9. Whoa.
Wow, gets a big escape there on the red +2, and now goes in the green, and also throws Evan back 6.
It might not necessarily. Well, there's Evan with the +4. He's going to strike first on the +4s with a double play. I wonder if maybe Mihail just didn't. Maybe he picked up one. He wouldn't have had the both +2s. Just drew one of them, but it wasn't necessarily the red one, because he might not have wanted to leave the door open on the other +2. So he might have just only drawn either one off that and just got lucky. Back into Draw City though on the blue.
Blue 1, Mihael is still drawing, cannot really get away to break these draw cities here. Evan typing up some. No, Evan is not typing. There it is.
Everyone
Okay,
but Evan is typing.
Gio is typing as well. But again, 6 minutes on the clock for game 1 here, and again, Evan's gonna break the draw city once again. So he's been able to find those breaks. For Mihael, he's had some good blocks on the ammo there, but ultimately is starting to go a little bit, kind of losing that potential pathway to the end here, and is trying to try to figure out what he needs to do here. Or this could
Absolutely.
It could also just be
It'll play there.
Hold, but we'll have to see how this all breaks down once this game is over.
Let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, Mihael has kind of not been able to find that advantage at the moment here. For Evan, he's kind of just been able to hold on to that lead for now, and that's going to be green 6. This 6 has been terrible to switch on all game, and we're going to see that right there. So Mihael, maybe with a bit of a block, didn't want this draw city to end unless he has an option here.
I'd like to get your thoughts, G. To me, this looks like a very stop and go match, right? So far, we've had like a good run, maybe 3 or 4 cards from each player, and then back into Draw City. And maybe we get a few more cards, and we go back into Draw City. And it's like very stop and go, you know, not really kind of vibing on one color, but just kind of choppy play so far. Switch to yellow. But thoughts on that from you there?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen this kind of been going on for a bit, because I mean, we have some good sequences here and there, but ultimately we do get a stop in the action at some point and go into Draw City. It's kind of like, I guess in terms of recollecting from when I was playing Smash a lot, it's kind of like when you're stalling out the opponent, and then just kind of, then the interaction starts getting going, because ultimately you have all your resources, but yeah, that's kind of just been what we've seen so far. We've seen a few good blocks into stall into empty colors. So, and this has been very good gameplay to open this series here. But for Evan, he is out on yellow. Mihael looking to keep things going, and not having another draw city going, looking to try to get this run going, and hopefully for him get the opening game win, because he's been able to run this yellow pretty well, and honestly, with how he's been drawing, I'm wondering if yellow could be that color, but may not be. He just switched the red.
For sure. Absolutely. Evan going back to yellow there.
I'm really curious
Really
if
staying
that
away
was
from red at this point.
I'm really curious if that was a top deck, because that might have actually thrown off what Mihael was hoping to go for. And that is going to force Mihael to draw. So that might have actually saved him there. Because I'm wondering if maybe Mihael was hoping to run red.
It is very possible, yeah. We'll see. It seems like red and yellow have become the dominant colors. We didn't really spend a whole lot of time in green and not much in blue either.
I'm going to mention this also, only 1
Zero
plus 4.
sugar and a draw.
I'm going to mention this also, only 1 plus 4 played thus far. So, again, there's still, wait a second. That's not right.
Well, there you go again with Mihail
Okay.
with the red wild. He's
Alright,
going to
there we go.
try that tactic again.
Alright, so...
Double play from Evan. Got the red that he needs. He's down to 4. Evan up to 8. Now 7.
I'm going to mention
Mihail
this
with a
also...
really big lead right now.
I'm going to
Yes, go
mention
ahead.
this also. I mean, there's only been 1 plus 4 played, so they're still lurking here. But for Mihail, that was his first wild you see, and then we see the second one there. So Evan does have it. I really gotta wonder how many times Mihail could have been close to the finish here in this game and ultimately got blocked by something, whether it's an ice or an ammo usage. For Mihail, he says many, so maybe a little bit of frustration on that one. But I also am curious what ammo he's been holding on to for so long, if there is any. But yeah, I mean,
It
we are
certainly
uncertain.
seems like Evan has had an answer for everything so far. Oh my goodness. That's going to be 3
Uno.
down to check now. And it just flips the script automatically.
Mihail saying so
Mihail,
close here.
perhaps.
He is at 5.
Might be his last chance to do
Oh,
anything.
it does have a plus 4.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
He's going to steal out from under him. Incredible.
Especially with after how many times he said he was close many times to the finish, for him to be able to beat out Evan on the Uno call there and hit with his first plus 4 and win that one. I mean, what an opening game to appear. Really well played on both sides, but it's going to be Mihail who walks away with the win on that one. Mihail, we'll go to you first. You mentioned there were many times you were close on that one. Just kind of walk me through your thoughts on that game, and just kind of the amount of times you were pretty close to getting to the end, and just kind of your thoughts on, like what you really were needing to do to be able to get that win there. All right, sure is here. Watching in the spectator stands, but Mihail, I was 2-3 plays away from the win a few times. What made the difference is holstering my ammo and not getting too trigger happy. I do want to ask, ending up winning on probably an off I won. I mean, I do want to ask also when the plus 4 came into play as well, because I mean there was some talks about how long that was how long that was getting held, or if that was something that popped into existence recently towards the end. But any input on that? Oh, it came from the plus 4. So Mihail was running on limited plus 4s, which I think makes sense because there was times where Mihail got the 2 and Evan would do a switch rather than an ammo play, and that would force Mihail to draw. So, yeah,
For
really
sure.
interesting way for that one to end. But for Evan, I guess the first question is what was the last card on that one, and just kind of any takeaways from that opening game, especially with how close that was. I mean, while Evan is typing here, I mean, Tapir, any just general thoughts after that one? That was a pretty good opener to see there. I thought that was a really competitive back and forth game.
Absolutely, yeah. It wasn't really plan A that you would normally see, like not a single draw. There were plenty of draws in this one. Several plus fours to be divvied out there, so it's not like you're having a plan in mind and then just sticking to it and getting the win. For this one, it seems like Mihail just tried to run out the clock. As we see, it didn't really matter if he switched to blue. It didn't really matter at that point because Mihail already had the run going. I do want to ask Mihail though, did you get sort of an odd one-off question? Did you get any of the green eights from his
That's a
plus
very.
four? I'm only
That's a.
asking because I am curious if maybe you intended to end on green and maybe end on a ditto play there, perhaps. Just out of curiosity.
That is a very interesting question to throw out there. Had one before, had one after. So it works out well.
Okay. So I'm planning on it, but it just kind of worked out. Yeah, exactly. I just figured because, gee, sometimes we see, um, let's say in a scenario where you have maybe a ditto play in your hand, maybe you start on a wild, and then you kind of force it to where it doesn't matter. You just have to fade the wild from your opponent because it doesn't matter if they play the right color or the right number. You can switch back and take the win. So I just noticed that sometimes you might see that from experienced players such as these, and I found it interesting to point out. Absolutely would be the mindset. Yeah, exactly.
All right. For Evan, I mentioned it earlier, but what was the last card you had on that one, out of curiosity, and then we'll jump in the game too. Blue 2, yeah. All right. Rough one there. Would have had the win there if Mihael didn't have the 5-card finish, but after that game, we'll jump to game number 2. As I mentioned before, no 7 for Mihael. We'll see where he goes from here as he looks to go up 2-0. All right, gonna double it. Gonna go with the 14.
Double it, and give it to the next person for game 2.
All right, 14 and +4 start.
Ah,
We've seen a few of these in this championship. There's been mixed results, but we'll see how it goes. Sapir, of course, naturally asking for the culture. Mihael will do it. Pointing specifically at Evan. And yeah, I mean, this is basically going to be a full send here unless Evan goes for the play. Yeah, no. Okay, so culture is accomplished here, and we were basically
very
starting on a
nice.
full send. This is going to be interesting because there's always a few strategies to go with here on a wild start. And ultimately, sometimes it can backfire and go wrong. So, screenshot my hand because there's something funny. I might have an idea of what it is, but won't comment on it for now. I'm gonna open with blue 3.
We'll see if we can get a read on that after.
I might have an idea of what it is, but
Here comes Evan. Let's see what he wants to do.
typing up here.
It's
Really
not like he
thinking.
has a free choice because it was Mihail's choice to go first. He's going to go right over to red with a quad. No,
That's 5.
fiver there into the red deuce.
So we just took a third of his hand out, and is now up. Well, now 9-13. So that's a bold start from Evan there, using a lot of that ammo early on.
For sure. Red 3 there now. Mihail turn to respond with a red 4. 1 up this time.
Got a ditto there.
Here comes
So
Evan with a ditto play.
that actually allows Mihael to switch. So no red. So
It's
we're not going back
possible
to
too
red.
if Evan drew. It's possible if he drew, he wanted to go to that anyway. We see a stoplight pattern here: red, yellow, green, quad fours.
We are one off from the rainbow
Possibility for
here.
Skittles.
We'll see. Mihael is
What
taking a
does
second to type.
what does he choose to do here?
Man, he's really taking a while to
It's
type
been
on this one.
for sure. I don't see a run coming, just because 11's way too much. I don't think I've ever seen an 11 card run, at least in recent history.
Not in recent history. I've seen one before. Mihael pulling out the Rana strats here.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
the long type into the And this one is really a long think here. Oh my god, all of that for a draw. Well, that was
Me when.
that
Me
was
when moment.
very underwhelming.
Well, let's see what Evan does here. He's got the advantage for right now. Double play +2. Mihail wanted to draw 1. He's actually now drawing 3 effective.
It's a big gap also.
Now
Oh
up
my
to
god.
well, forget that. That's gonna flip the scoreboard again. Give Mihail a massive lead here. Up by 7.
I mean,
Switch to green now.
for Evan, he kind of initialized the hit there and then just got
Oh my
absolutely
goodness.
obliterated there with a +12, but yeah, a lot of this ammo is coming out now, and that's 5 of the +2s played within the last minute.
Yep, see, I don't hate leaving the door open because Mihail just blasted his +2s into the sun. So I felt like he knew he was kind of safe with that +2, and he was. It did work out as we go into yellow.
Yeah, again, that was
Sometimes you can
ultimately
play those probability games.
that was a bit of a game reset also. So kind of both hands kind of well, I mean Evan's hand especially gets shuffled up. My hill maybe only a little bit, but um again, it's gonna be interesting to see how this works out here past 5 minutes. Um, I think for Evan, he's really just gonna be trying to look around to try to get a draw out of Mihail here, trying that green is Mihail is gonna be able to play.
Certainly trying to wind it down a little bit for Mihail. He doesn't really want this to go further than it has to. Unfortunately, he's not going to get the relief he's going to have to draw. Evan continuing to run.
Oh
Sitting on
man,
green 9 currently.
that was a bit of a scare for Evan there. I thought there was a big run coming, but it's actually gonna be a 3-card run to a
A little
draw
bit
on
for
red.
sure.
Yeah, red 0. And yeah, Mihail ultimately plays himself into a draw here. Not gonna have to try to find his way out as Evan keeps it going, closing that gap. Yeah. We saw 6 was tough to switch on in the last game. This time we do have an option here. Mihail goes into yellow.
Trying something different for right now. Haven't seen yellow in a minute for blue.
Evan really wanted that
Back
red.
into red though. Icing out Mihail.
He's gonna have to try to hope
Great
for no
play there.
switch there, and this time he's not gonna get the switch there, so that does work out. Yeah, a lot of red here. Wanted to make sure he gets rid of it
Absolutely.
here. Ditto. That's not really gonna do much for Mihail's sake, but well, actually, no, it does get rid of the red. Although maybe if he held on to it, could have forced a longer draw city, but we'll see how that one works out. Red probably not going to be a
This
factor.
is interesting.
For unless we get kind of a game reset.
For sure, for sure. Very interesting though. Evan going into yellow when initially it was Mihail that wanted it. So he's going to go with a double play now and goes to the yellow zero sugar.
Oh man, big play there.
Mihael
Goes
with another
into
quad into blue.
+2 in there as well. Ivan gets to
Adds
switch
a
to green though.
+2. Yep. The switches are becoming really aggressive here. Power play.
Power play here.
There you are.
Yeah, did not want to lose the opportunity there. That actually ultimately ends up being a fatal switch, because it was both fives and it was green and yellow to finish that one off. So Mihael saw the opportunity here and takes it. Goes up 2-0. Yeah, I think honestly that's a really good power play, especially when given the opportunity on that. But Mihael, I mean, again, thoughts on that game, and just kind of would you like to share the hand, because you mentioned there was something very peculiar about your starting hand.
Those were my literal
No.
2 options. You suck.
Okay.
You suck, man. That's
Had all 4
crazy.
colors to skips. My options was a rainbow of some sort. I wasn't thinking skips, but I was definitely thinking some sort of rainbow. But yeah, that is interesting. That's interesting to have that on the start. But ultimately, it's the power play usage and into the number efficiency that will get him the win. Blue skip, yellow skip, green skip, red skip, and yeah, I mean.
You sound like Dr. Seuss for a minute. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. Red skip, blue skip, yellow skip, green skip. Do you have a second life you're not talking about?
All right, no comment on that one. I don't. Tapir has no
Okay,
idea
all
what
right.
he's talking. Tapir has no idea what he's talking about. By the way, buy my new book. Out in a few
No,
days.
clearly not.
No.
I think we both plead the fifth on that one.
All right, we'll go to Evan here. I mean, Evan. I mean, based off the reaction, disappointed with how that one went. Were you potentially close to a finish once again? In the power play, kind of ultimately scuffed that, or was it just kind of a case where you felt that game was definitely in your hands, and at the end of it, just kind of didn't work out? I'm gonna mention it to Pierre again. Ultimately, that does go down as a fatal switch there, which is unfortunate for Evan, especially if he was very close to a win. But I guess really it's just kind of how effectively you use the power play, and I think in that situation, Mihael had the opportunity to go for it, and he did. That is going to give him a big 2-0 lead in this series, but won't have power play the rest of the way.
Yeah, several things. First of all, it when you take a look, it's not as if Mihail had intended to end the game. He was just thinking he was going to have to draw again because he didn't have any connection. But then when you see Evan switching to the green, it's like, okay, now's your chance. The power play is only good for one, so you might as well take it. And of course, we talk a whole lot about how in especially a best of 7, when you have a 2-0 lead, that's a whole lot better than going 1-1 to tie it up. Like that 2-0 is massive in a best of 7. Granted, you don't have your power play, but maybe you won't need it. And especially given that 2-0 is going to give you a little bit of leeway. But I have one question for Mail. Way back, that obvious one at the +12. Talk to me on your thoughts about, just dumping all of it into Evan's lap. Sometimes we would see maybe a little bit of ammo control, maybe just a +2 here and there. But you elected not to do that. You elected for the +12. And we talk all the time about when you do that, you give your other player a whole lot of ammunition. So talk to me about your thought process and why you decided to dump it all instead of just dripping it out one by one.
Just the back half of that, because
Oh,
unfortunate.
okay. Just basically your thought process on the +12 with those +2 chains, because a lot of times we see players electing for ammo control instead. So just your generic thoughts about why you decided to blast him with the plus 12. He's typing here, right? Because yeah, felt right in the moment, just kind of buying some time there, then strike with the skips later on for sure. Yeah, and that's what's interesting because you have several different approaches for a game like this. It just all depends on the scenario.
Yeah, again, you just kind of have, I think that the interesting thing about this, especially when there's ammo thrown out, is your game plan has to always be changing on the fly. You could have a general core game plan going in, but like in terms of what you do, you always got to be ready for anything thrown your way. Even if it's complete junk, you just gotta make do with what you have. But typically you don't see retaliation against +6, +12 unless until I get down 3-4 cards, would have had a 5-6 card finisher. Which is, yeah, that's fair enough. But yeah, let's keep this going here. Game 3. Evan's gonna get the homestand here, looking to try and get the fight back here after 2 close games. We'll see what he goes with here. Again, full board allowed.
Could be 7, could be 14. He might elect for something else entirely. Let's see here.
That is a.
Oh, goodness
He's
gracious.
gonna go to 13 here.
13, okay. For a moment, I was thinking player number, and I'm like, that doesn't work.
I don't. I think we're.
I don't think we can do that.
I need to remember. What the player numbers are.
I'd have to look.
Mihael's is 30. I know that. But yeah, 30 plus 981.
Mihael Evan.
That's
1011. 1011 card start. Okay, we'll be here until next year. Anyway.
We would need we would need 9 decks of Uno to make that work. I don't think we have that.
9 decks. I think the max is like 4 or something.
Might be, because I mean
it might be 8. I'm not sure.
It's what's it called? Actually, no. Would it be 9? Hang on. Yeah, no. It's 104. It's 104 in the deck. So it would have to be It would have to be 9. I think. Actually, no. It actually has to be 10.
Yeah, I think the old bot has 8 decks. Yeah.
It would have to be 10. So yeah, I
right.
mean that is.
And then again, it's like you really need 11, so you have a disc. Well, actually, you wouldn't even need a draw pile at that point. You just play whatever, and just Could you imagine if there's a swap hands or something on that? That'd be incredible.
God. That would be incredible, but that would also be like. And that would actually also be a nightmare, because you could technically just see your own hand above in the DM, so you already know what the opponent has.
For sure. That would just be nuts.
Yeah,
a couple of draws here, getting back to the game.
We would not incorporate that in this league if that was something, because that
we
would
not
be
do
way
that.
too broken. Same thing with like the 0
All right,
swaps
guys,
and the 7 swaps.
For sure, for sure. Let's do a best of 13, 1011 card start.
I would quit on the spot. That's what I would do.
We would all quit. Let's be honest.
All right. Well, anyways, back to the game.
Red now.
Yeah, it goes into red. Let's take a quick table check here. Yeah, I mean, still higher up on the cards here. I mean, there was a big draw city earlier on the blue, so not too surprising there. But Mihael with the lead, looking to make this 3-0. Again, I mean, even though it is 2-0 right now, this has been a decently competitive game on both sides. I mean, Evan has been very close at points. Ultimately, just kind of Mihael would beat him to the punch, but Yeah, this has been a very good series so far, and this is kind of a nice change of pace. Even if this ends up being 3-0, because we've seen a lot of games thus far where it would be like, oh, I have a plan A and I just win, and you can't do anything about it, which kind of sucks. But I like these games where it's like a back and forth, and you're playing a lot with the numbers here and there, and also have to have some good saves along the way, even some tough saves where there's the option to use it is definitely there, but you have to take a bit of a gamble and hope for the best.
Absolutely, yeah. It was with Mihail's last game with Pikachu, where he fell, I think, in 5, if I'm not mistaken. But there was a
Yep.
ton of Plan A in that one.
Mm-hmm.
And no shade to Pikachu, right? Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. But this is definitely a polar opposite game where there's a lot of think stop moments, a lot of plans B and C, lots of draw city, really unpredictable gameplay as opposed to just one and done Plan A that the other game was. Going into
Yeah.
green now. Green 2 was the last card played. Evan trying to get a big run there
That's
into the yellow.
That's an interesting play because he just got rid of a +2 and then used another wild into yellow. Um, and Miles
That's a
gonna respond with
massive
green.
ammo dump. Yeah, +4 there. So not quite the end for Evan yet.
Hmm. I could see
Mihail
where he
now
was
with the lead too.
I could see where he was coming from to try to throw Mihail back a little bit, but I don't know if that one's ultimately gonna work out there. If Mihail did have the +4 though, I think that was a necessary usage of it, but that definitely was one that was
For
it put
sure.
him in an awkward spot.
Hopping
Reversing the
over to
draw,
blue, leaving the
nothing left on
door
blue.
open.
Ridley really trying to encourage Mihail with his hater energy. But for Evan out on blue.
The shade, the shade. Oh my goodness
Well,
gracious.
for Mihail's season,
And
he's
there he
looking
goes.
good right
He's
now. 3-0 right now, ends it on another +4.
the incredible thing is if you take a look at the board stats, Evan's got the lead on the regular wilds. It's tied on the +4s. The only thing that Mihail's really getting an edge on is the skips and the +2s. And so it's just a reminder you can't discount any ammo card because it's just I mean he's up 3-0, right? He's got the massive lead on the +2s that's doing it for him.
I think it's really the +2s you got to look at here because the skips kind of gets negated by the reverses because 9-3 they're in Evan favor, but I think the skip +2 advantage on
That's
the
true. That's
4
true.
extra is definitely helping him out there. But uh, yeah, for Mihail looking to keep the momentum train rolling here, Mihail 3-0 here. Just kind of thoughts on keeping things going here for you, and being in a very good spot going into the rest of this series with 3-0 lead. Maybe we could consider that down the line. It's more of a that would be more of an off-season discussion. True. Anyways, my thoughts on kind of how that one went and just kind of being able to get the wins this series to put yourself in a good spot in this back half. Traded ammo that game and it fell in my favor. Not too much else to say about game 3. Go to Evan. Any thoughts there? Unfortunately, I've not really been able to find the answers here. I did mention that +2 play from +4 play from before. That definitely put you in a bit of an awkward spot there. Although, based off Mihail's response, there could have been a possibility where that was unnecessary evil. But yeah. I mean, any other comments on that one? Is just kind of where how you look at this back half trying to make this comeback here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I see Cody Smart in the building. Good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in.
Yep, he with late addition here, but he'll be the ref for the Pikachu Geo game thing because we did not have someone for that before. Yeah. Just gonna wake up. All right.
Good to have you, Cody.
All right. Well, we'll
He's
jump to
just gonna
football.
wake up.
We've got to play fast.
Gotta
before he
hurry.
wakes up.
Hurry up!
We've
Hurry up!
seen-
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast.
We've seen this before because Bob Ross did this in the Meteorological May finale, where he was down a lot, but then ultimately was able to bring it back to the final game, Game 9. But Mihael was able to escape on that one. But we'll see if Evan can do that as well. Game 4 here, Evan with the call, still full board here, looking to get on the board and start this comeback. All right, run it back.
Run it back. Another 13 coming up next for Game 4.
All right, 13. And getting with the yellow 5.
From here on out, we are always going to be in game point territory. Any game could be the one. It's going to be a sudden death situation for Evan. He's going to try to be locked in, though, for these next 4 games. He'll have no choice but to do so. See a yellow one from Mihael. Evan to respond here.
Again, I'm going to mention this. Mihael used his power play in Game 2 here, so won't be able to use that to try and just close out the series here. So that could be working in Evan's advantage here, but definitely going to have to be careful here because we've seen how some of these runs can come out of nowhere. So that is something to keep an eye out for as Red jumps in now. So we're seeing all the faces popping up here. As we're about half hour away from winners finals commencing. First best of 9 of the D2 championship. First of 3 or 4 if we get a reset.
Switch over to yellow there. Evan taking it down to green with a triple play.
Red in the spoiler said he was hoping for not a rematch. At the moment, it is looking like that. Mihael up 3-0. And we've seen how some of these rematches have gone, where it would be the person who lost the first time winning the second time. So Red with some concern on that one, but Mihael's actually going to negate the 3-card run Evan just went on and ties it back at 8.
A little bit of a card replacement there. Evan taking the possession arrow.
Oh, man,
Mihael swiping it from him, going quad play into yellow.
That's another big run from Mihael.
Oh my
here,
goodness, back in the green.
Evan's gonna bring it back in the green, and Mihael has the response to the wild yellow
Back
here.
into yellow with the wild. It's incredible.
I mean, the real question here is Evan gonna have any options here, or does he have something he's holding on to wanting to save? He has another wild. He's gonna go in the green.
Another green. Oh,
and that
oh
one
my
is gonna
gosh,
be that's gonna do it.
Ice. No choice but to give up. Evan
Green 2
with a chance to run it.
Oh, immediate switch. This one
Mihael
to red though.
Finds a truce on red. Lays aside the yellow for right now.
Evan's fine with it though. We know Mihael's looking for the yellow though. But Evan with the lead now with the double. But I mean, for Evan, he was playing
certainly down to the wire here.
Yeah, we'll see
Possibly
how this one goes.
Ending it here. He's not. He's going to get to 2, tying it up. Evan, possibility for check.
Oh man, this is
as we await.
Mihael's giving a warning.
Be careful, he says.
Oh,
power
he's
play.
Gonna play
that's purely defensive. Pure defense. Yeah.
Well, it's not his turn yet, so he accidentally showed his play. Not gonna matter there.
Yeah.
I don't think Evan wanted to use the power play like
Evan
that, but
drawing
definitely
twice.
felt like the end could have been near there. trying to throw a junk card.
Could have. Keyword. Could have. Keyword.
Could have, yeah.
Mihael with a play
Wait.
next. Should be the red one. Yep.
No play from Evan here. Yeah, I think the big thing about that one is throwing in that extra card that could throw you off. We're gonna see if it ultimately matters here. Oh, top deck an extra red. That is unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, ultimately right play there, but it's gonna be Mihael getting the win on that one. Yeah.
Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Answer me. I don't know what I had to answer to. Anyway, Mihael up 4-0. He's going to take down the series just past 11 o'clock on the East Coast.
Yeah. We'll go to Mihael on this. I mean, I thought this was actually a pretty competitive series, even if the scoreline did not show it. Yeah, I mean, Mihael get the win here, especially after coming off a very tough match in winner semis. You keep your run going into loser semis, and you will get the winner of Mark in red. Your thoughts on just kind of getting the win here, especially in a match that was at back and forth at a lot of times and really got down to the wire in some of these games. Just kind of any general thoughts as you move on to the loser semis, especially after a tough outing in the winner semis in your last match. And we'll get some quick words here from Evan before we wrap this up. Ironically, actually relatively solid timing here as this one wraps up at 11 a.m. So we got about half an hour to go before the winner semis match kicks off. Yeah, I mean, while Mihael's typing on this one, I guess kind of looking at the stats here. Interesting split here. I mean, the Wild's 4-3, Evan 4-3 plus on the plus fours from Mihael. I think the skips and reverses ultimately, and that's just kind of gonna be chalk. Yeah, I actually think it is chalk because I think both with 16 if you combine those two. And then I think the plus fours is really gonna be the big talking point after that one. I really think that was able to help Mihael at times, especially with the game resets where he did a plus 12 at one point. I mean, Tapir, any just general thoughts after seeing what you saw here?
Well, I hold on, just typing this out. A little bit of shade there. I do think that just seeing the stats there, cards drawn 77-55, that just feels like a pure result of the +2 differential. Right there, just massive cards to be sorted through and played eventually, and just couldn't run out the clock fast enough. But overall, this was, I think, pretty solid expectation of I think what we thought about a fiery match between both players. Right, it wasn't really. It's different because although it was a 4-0, it wasn't a blowout 4-0 like it would if it was 6-1 on +4s. Like everybody knows that a win like that, it's maybe, yeah, it's a win, but it's like a little less uh quality wise, a little less so because you just have the cards on your side. But this one, it's you had a lot of draw city, you had a lot of cards going back and forth, plenty of fireworks to be had from both sides. So Evan put up a hell of a fight, right? He always does, and it's just his season unfortunately ending here. Mihael moving on, but he's definitely one of the players that have made a name for himself in this league, just in the season alone. And so it's nothing to be ashamed of. Absolutely not. And look forward to seeing him. I can't remember, is he being promoted or not?
He is going to be,
I can't
because
recall.
he is
He
because
is.
he's in the
Okay.
top four. He's in the top four of the playoff spots. But I was about to actually mention that as we go to Evan here. I mean, that's a tough ending for the
Right. Yep.
season
Go
there
right
with
ahead.
the sweep. But we talk about the promotion split with the 4 regular season, 4 playoffs. And I mean, you probably had one of the best playoffs runs we've seen, having to go through the LCQ, having taken a lot of players in what was a very competitive LCQ this season, even though it was not as many people. And then being able to go through this D2 championship, especially the loser side, taking out down some tough competition. One of the better playoff runs we've seen here. Definitely a Cinderella run, but unfortunately it ends here. I mean, just kind of your general thoughts on kind of what happened in this match and your overall feelings about this run as a whole as you look forward into next season.
While he types, let's go over that quote from Mihael. Match was fun. Even though the scoreline was 4-0, each of those 4 was competitive in itself. ETV have been doing great things in D1. I'm looking ahead to the next round no matter what. I have to play one of the players who've beaten me, end quote. So, yeah, absolutely. 4 competitive games there and really having to fight for every single win there. And that's what we like to see here in MRE.
Yep, indeed. But yeah, I mean, I don't think the scoreline was indicative on how this series was. A really competitive series. Just unfortunately, Evan kind of never got the fortune with like 2 cards left to be able to get a finish. But again, this is a well played series, and I think a nice change of pace here. I wish Evan was able to get 1 win on the board, because I think that would have been a little bit more indicative on what actually happened here. But again, sometimes the scoreline can be deceiving. And that's just kind of how it goes. Guess we'll talk. I mean, yeah, Evan was feeling pretty good after the Joao win. But yeah, bound to end one to see his point or another. Yeah, I mean, for everyone, it is going to end at some point. So yeah, bigger's on the way for me. That is true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great mindset to have, just on the way to a brighter future. And that's really all you can hope for at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yep, indeed. So, again, ultimately, it is what it is. Really, I mean, with the D2 championship, it's more of like in terms of national terms, like an Xfinity title. So, definitely something that's big to win. But again, we kind of run the tier system, so ultimately, being able to get that D1 promotion is definitely the big thing. As Red sends a voice message, I don't know what that's about it. But yeah, I mean, again, I think Tapir, I got your final thoughts, but any last comments you want to say before we wrap this one up, as we are going to get things going for this winners finals here in about 20 minutes.
No, I'm just about spent. Just congratulations once again to Mihael. Looking forward to his next.
All right, well, 5 remain here. Mihael, moving on, wins the 1v12 battle. He will face the winner of Mark Red, which will be determined tomorrow at 4 p.m. Make sure you watch that. But stick around. We're going to be keeping the action going here. Winners finals of the D2 championship. I'm going to commence in a few minutes here. Pikachu and Geo, one of them will lock in their spot into the grand finals for a shot of becoming D2 world champion for the 2025 season. We will see who gets the win here. But we'll be back in a bit. But before then, on behalf of the MRE team, our ref Geo, my co-commentator Tapir, and everyone else who came out to watch, thank you all so much for watching this stream. Congrats to Mihael on the 4-0 win. He moves on into the bracket, keeps his run alive. The run for the 3-peat is still alive for Mihael. We'll see if he can get that done. But we'll be back in about 20 minutes with some more MRE UNO action to kick off the first of our 3 best of 9s in this tournament here. But until then, I'm G-Man, and stick around as we will be right back with some more MRE UNO D2 Championship.
You've been watching the 2025 MRE UNO Division 2 Championship.